Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War with the Eras mod, specifically the Victorian era. We are playing as the Prussians and we're trying to unite all the Germans. Last time around we managed to recapture lost territory to the Dutch. Since then, the Dutch have actually gone ahead and signed a peace treaty with the Southern Dutch. Down here, and they've regrouped the forces, as you can see right here. Basically have two full stacks back here, and they've got one full stack now marching down to attack us yet again. However, I'm not too interested in concentrating on this war, as I'm planning on keeping somewhat of a historical timeline. So we have about little less than a year, or I mean in 1866 we need to go to war with the Austrians and take out their allies, which is Saxony, which is one of the provinces that I need to, you know, complete the takeover of all German states. Also, there is a continuing war between Mecklenburg and Sweden, as we can see here. It seems like Mecklenburg has actually won the first battle against the Swedes around here. However, Sweden is... they've got a full stack over here, which could threaten Mecklenburg's capital. And I'm actually interested in going in and sniping out Mecklenburg and taking them over while this is happening. And currently, Mecklenburg is also... they're actually only trade partners with a lot of people. They're not allied with anyone anymore. Everyone has abandoned them, so it's perfect. I can declare war on them and not face any consequences. However, these are all different plans. What we're planning today is Oldenburg, because Oldenburg is an ally of the Dutch, and I definitely don't like that. I feel like this is a step too far for a German principality or fiefdom or whatever you want to call it. I'm not entirely sure, Oldenburg, if they were a principality or whatever they are. Actually, maybe we can just... they are absolute monarchy, and they have Peter II. He's feeble and destitute. He could definitely... I mean, Oldenburg as a province is absolutely shit. All they have is some horses, and that's it. They could perfectly well have a port, but for some reason in Napoleon Total War there are very few ports for the Germans. I mean the northern Germans anyways. There's Kolberg, and then there is Wismar for the... that's the only two ports that the Germans have, or all the sort of German areas. Königsberg, I don't get why Königsberg doesn't have a port. It's a huge province. It should have one. And I mean, this province is shit. But from a perspective of the game is actually made around Napoleon and France, then, you know, maybe some backwaters German states not put a lot of effort into that. Especially since it has its own state. As I think in the... is it controlled by the Prussians in origin? We're sidetracking way far right now. What we're going to do is we're going to declare war on them, and we're going to take them over. But before then, I thought I'd managed to get as close to 20 names for the custom names that non-paying channel members get. We managed to get 19, so let's cut into that segment and show you who won. And here's the list of all the 19 submitted names, and we're gonna use Google's random number generator to generate a number and take a look at which one is the winner. So let's generate. Turns out it's 14, and 14 is Tax Battery. Congratulations to Tack and his battery. And there we have it. It's Tax Battery. Tax Battery. that one. And I've already put him in this army. We've got the 12-pounder battery is now tax battery. The way I say it, it almost is like tax. Like we're tax. Anyways, they've got 2 full stacks, and we're hoping to defeat all of that today. So they're friendly right now, but they're not going to be friendly for too long. We're going to start by breaking the trade agreement, and then I'm going to declare war. I'm not going to drag in my allies. We're just going to do it like that. Boom. Perfectly. Now, I'm not going to march in to have my army intercepted before I bring up my second army, so that we get the aid there to make sure that we are ready to fight, and they intercept us. So Kaufmann's army is intercepted. It's going to be reinforced by Lichtenberg. We have a force of close to 6,000 men against a force to close to 6,000 as well. Here, actually closer to, well, 5,600 roughly for the enemy. In terms of what they've got, this unit has very high range. Outranges anything I've got, 190. But other than that, I don't see that they have anything major that would cause a problem for me. Actually, quite few cannons. In the first army, they have only 6-pounder gun. I have 4 guns for my first army, including the Haubitzen, but they have been disappointing so far. With that said, let's draw into battle then and fight these. I usually say bastards, but maybe I shouldn't say that, because we're trying to just incorporate them. So let's defeat these and bring them into the fold of a great German Empire. We have moved into position, and it's now time to start the battle. We started quite far away, but the enemy decided to play it passively, and so I've been able to claim this ridge, which we can see going through here. We started off back here somewhere, but the enemy has allowed me to get up onto this ridge that's overlooking the town. The enemy does have a ridge back here, but of course they do not have the artillery advantage, and so they are forced to advance here and meet us in battle. There's a little cart or something in the way. I'm gonna have to move units like that. Cavalry coming in. Got a reserve unit here that I'm trying to place among there, and I've placed Youngban and the guards, Gibbons Brigade, because usually those guys are heavily onset by enemy artillery. So I decided to place them back as more of a reserve. We've got the 1st Light Hussars and Majovsky moving up to be on the left, while I have Fulcum and Dragichan being on the right, as there might be enemy cavalry coming in there. General move into the center of all of this. We've got the 2 12-pounders where I've placed tax battery up front, and I'm hoping here that the 5th does not. Actually, I'm going to be more conservative with the 5th battery where they fire, because I think there's a risk that they fire into tax battery. 4th Battalion here suffer horrendous losses. Why are you taking so long to set up? Our
men are running, sir.
Which has allowed the 4th to get outplayed and outshot, and leaves the 3rd soft cone alone. Oh, we have a cavalry charge coming in here. Luckily I moved up the 5th here, so they will aid. Plus I could order this to fire actually canister that way would probably not work. Oh, the square was broken. Then you can retreat, and I can fire at the canister the way back there. Oh, they're going for tax battery. I think they hit someone maybe in the retreat. Right back. Oh, we've completely lost this. Attack, hold fire. And instead I want you to prepare canister. You want to move like that. Well, attack is moving into canister, firing this way. We're gonna have to move up the reserves, Youngban and Gibbons Brigade. I'm gonna order the retreating unit over here, the 4th, to continue its retreat off the map, because I'm gonna need reinforcements to come in. Let's move these two forward so they're actually in the fight. Cavalry on
Our men
to the
are
left.
running, sir.
The light over here gave way. Continue further back so that the line infantry can aid you. Canister is not doing a lot here. I think once this one opens up and the canister turn on them, we'll break them that way. And now when Gibbons and Youngbun is up here, they'll hopefully be able to break the enemy came through there. I have to order in the cavalry to break that up.
Sir.
Who's running now? Okay, the lights, all the lights on this side have routed. Oh, now they've come in. Oh, that's maybe why, because I fired canister into my own men. Fire canister that way. Luckily the canister seem to have scared off those troops, so they're not coming back, but I'm gonna order the canister to fire at specific targets to try and avoid as much friendly fire as possible. Cavalry's moved up. The problem here is I don't really have the support here I would need, I feel like. But we need to start, you know, breaking them down somewhere. God damn it, you're running as well. I'm gonna move these two cavalry units towards the center, since we've got a massive amount of enemies forming up here. They seem to be marching into that. Okay, howitzers, focus on that instead. The cavalry charge went in here. The line infantry will move up to aid that. Right, hold on to that. Okay, canister down there. Canister that way, and then
one of our units has used all its ammunition, sir.
That's the general, so we don't have to worry about that. Cavalry needs to come in to break the enemy over here. Cavalry charge successfully destroyed all that. You can continue through, but now we're facing a lot of enemies over here. And is that enemy howitzers? What is that? We're stuck on that guy. Move to there. Forkham's Dragoons. Will this launch this one? Oh, the battery got attacked. Retreat. tax battery, unfortunately. Back on the battery, actually. Back into the fight. Alright, dislodge that guy. Lights will hold fire. The cavalry are slowly working its way through that. The lights move this way. Howitzers. That's... I feel like that this is way too close.
Sir! Sir! Our general is under attack!
As soon as they come over the ridge, I want to shoot them. Lights actually drop from being in that formation and then move into line instead, and you move into line. Have you successfully sent... As soon as they successfully move those guys away, we have a new chance on our hand. Canister down that way. Why aren't you firing? You're supposed to return fire. Tax battery is still in the fight. Good. How it's
the men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
Can I get the general closer to this side? Draggy Chen coming up behind. Tax battery, unfortunately, completely overrun and destroyed, it looks like. Hold fire. We were finally able to break down the enemy over there. Let's run through. There's an infantry unit in among those. No, it's all cavalry. It's all cavalry. Alright, move through. Bloody bayonet charge all around. Round shot. On that.
Our men are running, sir.
Let's end this now. Alright, those guys defeated. Allow the cavalry to follow after that. Oh, they've chased right into the general. Try not to get killed here, so run away. Continuously chasing that. Let's rally these two infantry units. Get them into line again. Let's get these guys into line. Chase down that guy. However, they've not been able to deal with that one. Unfortunately, it looks like tax battery. While I'm sure they managed to get some good canister shots, have been completely destroyed, which isn't every day that happens. Chevaliers, Dragichen is tired. Probably not a good target for him. Run down more of these retreating troops. Right, enemy general.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
Good. Let's see about pulling back troops here too. With the enemy here was destroyed. 3 cavalry units are fine. We are starting to receive reinforcements at this point. Which is good because... So the first fight, I'd say we won, for sure. Although, quite narrow fight. Let's see if we're gathering up all the cavalry to attack and dislodge this. And then I will organize my troops to face the new threat which is coming in here. And hopefully we'll get our reinforcement army coming in pretty darn soon. Always forget to reorganize that so I get my infantry first rather than get like the random general and stuff. Right. We'll just order everyone in on that battery. And then I'll order the light back and try to reorganize. Probably gonna send a lot of these guys back. Like, let them retreat.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
As you can see, you know what? All of them, actually. The entire force will be ordered to retreat. Oh, my general almost got killed. I didn't even notice that. And now the cavalry's over on that. You're 88 men. Yeah, we'll order all of you to retreat out this way, and we'll just bring in the new fresh army while keeping a lot of their cavalry here, or at least to start off anyways, to protect my own guns. The second part of the battle is now starting. I've got light troops now set up in the woods from the second army. I've got all the battery, or all the artillery, set up as well. And all the cavalry. So it's a very cavalry and artillery heavy army that is now preparing to advance on the enemy. Currently the enemy has decided to take the bait and attack the lights in the woods. Setting them up right there. I'm gonna have the line infantry now pull forward, start firing into the flank of the enemy. And as you can see, my artillery is now pummeling them. And we'll go ahead and soften the entire force up before we will be ordering in the cavalry attack of the guys that decided to move this way. Are quite completely screwed, as we've got 3 batteries of 6-pounders just firing away. The enemy do have 2 batteries all the way back here. They're not going to be a problem. Their musketeers decide to charge headlong into battle. That's enemy artillery fire. Right, as this guy is going headlong into the lines here, I'm not entirely sure. I guess he's charging. I guess they're going after my cannons as well. So it's time to send in the cavalry. The batteries will now switch to canister if they get that far. Line infantry will hold fire. Light infantry will hold fire. Garde du Corps, Majovsky. These will attack there. Hussars attack here, and then Brandenburg and heavy cuirassiers will go here. Means that Lindström is moving in over here together with these guys. Oh yeah, the howitzers need to definitely hold fire. The enemy was completely routed, overwhelmed by just an absolute ton of artillery fire and then cavalry charges. And as we can see, they're putting up some resistance, but other than that, you can see them in full retreat here. And as much as Oldenburg put up a good fight, I think that for the secondary battle, it will be a cakewalk. Let's make sure that none of them gets away. And then I will reorganize the cavalry to go after the batteries. And then it will be all ogre. Here's the result of the Battle of Oldenburg. We deployed about 6,000 men. We actually deployed roughly equal troops. 5,700 against 5,600. There's only a difference of less than 50 men or so. I ended up losing 1,200 men, close to 1,300 men, leaving me with a force of 4,400. While the enemy lost 4,300 men, leaving them with a force of 1,300. However, of those 1,300, not all of them will actually make it back into the capital, although that will be supplemented by armed citizenry. The armed citizenry isn't that great. I note here that I killed about 100 and close to 200 of my own troops, what it looks like, or a little bit less. And the enemy killed about 300 of their own, 300 or so. So normally I kill more of my own than the enemy kills of their own. In terms of who did what and who killed what, it's not surprising that Majovsky ends up in the top with close to 600, followed by Hussar, which I think is the first Hussars, which is not to be confused with Dragichen's first Hussar. Should really rename that unit to second Hussars. We got the 5th Dragoons, which is what's it called? Forcum's Dragoons. Then we got Dragichen. Then we've got Gibbon's Brigade. We got Musketeer, Hussar Fusilier, Youngban, one Shill, no one owns that. I'm interested to see, let's see, the battery, the 12 pounder that lost everything which is this one right here. Only about 5 of them remained after the battle. They only actually got 55 kills, unfortunately, for Tack's battery. I'm hoping is... Oh, it did survive! It did survive the battle. I was worried I'd completely lost them, but they did survive the battle. A little bit unfortunate there. They got run over by cavalry or attacked multiple times. Micromanage was lacking a little bit. Also, canister is really weak, so batteries do not have a lot to say when it comes to close quarters fighting, or as much as they used to. Overall, though, we won the battle, which is the important bit. However, what it looks like now is the second army will be the one to take up the fight here for the second battle. And I'll auto-save here just to make sure, but this is clearly an auto-resolve since I'm heavily in favor and we just did a really long battle. So I think that's safe to say. Plus, we do actually get points for the generals that you don't normally get for just regular battles. So we lost about 700 men, no unit destroyed, and the enemy lost everything, and we managed to successfully take over Oldenburg, which was one of the points of this. Gonna go ahead and repair that, and with that I do not really need to fight the Dutch, and I have no interest in going after them anyway, so we'll see about if we can cease hostilities. What about a white peace? Never mind. What about if I hand over some cash? I'm willing to hand over quite a lot, because I'm not interested in fighting you at all. Okay, so you're just being silly. Last time we fought, you lost the battle. And the only fight you won was a backhanded backstab. I'm willing to offer you 12,000 in the final offer here for a peace treaty, and I will give you anti-French sentiment. Who wouldn't want that? You, sir, will rue this day. Unfortunately, it looks like the war with the Dutch will continue. I guess what I'll need to do is I'll need to beat this army into a pulp before I can go ahead and sue for peace with the blasted, treacherous Dutch. But for now, what we're gonna do is we are gonna rest a little bit on our laurels since we just won this fight. And we're gonna prepare them for the next episode where we're gonna beat the Dutch army, and then I'm gonna try and relocate one army so that we are actually gonna be the backstabbing ones, as I intend to bring Mecklenburg into the fold here, as they have decided to keep warring with the Swedes for some reason. Interesting here is the Swedes are protecting Copenhagen against a Mecklenburgian attack. In other news, the British has not advanced any further on the Iberian Peninsula. The French have actually now gone in and taken German territory, which gives me good cause to attack them once that time comes around. Bavaria is back in control of its own territory, and other than that, nothing much is happening. I have not kept an eye on what the Italians are doing, and I'm just guessing they're not doing anything. The Swiss fell, but I think we mentioned that last time around. But for how long, I imagine the Austrians are going to lose that as well, as they keep losing everything they take. Right. I think that's all there is need to be said. My navy is bottled up by the Dutch. That's why I'm hoping to just sign a peace treaty so I can get my navy out and actually get some good trade deals down here in Ivory or something, so that I can get a load of money. And clearly, with how the units are fighting and so on, and how often I need to replace them. I should do more considering around increasing it to 40 stack armies, just because the reinforcement system is poorly thought out in Napoleon in the way the battles are fought here. I would rather have had something close to you know, Shogun 2, where multiple units are able to enter at once in a better way for these bigger battles. Something to think about. But other than that, it's high time that we end the episode. So we ended on a victory, the victory over Oldenburg, and I'll be saying, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.